a Hindi musical romance film that explores the complexities of love, mental health and societal expectations. The story begins with a frantic sequence where a young woman named Rinku Suryavanshi is about to be married against her will. She is in love with a man named Sajid Ali Khan and they plan to elope. However, her family, led by her domineering grandmother, forcefully kidnaps her and brings her back to their village in Bihar to marry her off to a doctor from Chennai. Vishu is a final-year medical student who gets kidnapped by Rinku's family and is forced to marry her in a Pakadway Viva, groom kidnapping. Rinku, still in love with Sajid, agrees to a temporary marriage with Vishu with a condition: after they reach Chennai they will go their separate ways. She plans to run away to Sajid, and Vishu, who is already engaged to his boss's daughter Mandakini, agrees to the plan. They get to Chennai and begin their separate lives. Vishu, a caring and gentle man, starts to fall for Rinku's charming, free-spirited and quirky personality. However, Rinku remains fixated on Sajid, whom she describes as a magician. As Rinku and Vishu spend more time together, they develop a genuine friendship. Vishu realizes that Rinku's love for Sajid is not just a teenage infatuation but a deep-seated belief. He finds himself in a difficult position, torn between his love for Rinku and his promise to help her reunite with Sajid. He meets Sajid for the first time at Rinku's insistence and finds him to be a charming and charismatic man who seems to genuinely love Rinku. Sajid in turn finds Rinku's love for him endearing and is determined to win her back. The plot takes a dramatic turn when it's revealed that Sajid is not a real person but a figment of Rinku's imagination. Rinku has been suffering from schizophrenia since childhood, a condition that was triggered by the traumatic death of her parents. Sajid is a coping mechanism she created to deal with her pain and trauma. This revelation changes everything for Vishu, who now understands the true nature of Rinku's love for Sajid. He decides to stay with Rinku and help her even if it means sacrificing his own happiness. He takes her to a mental health professional, Dr. S.S. Ramachandran, who specializes in such cases. Dr. Ramachandran, a kind and understanding psychiatrist, explains to Vishu that Rinku's condition is not something that can be cured but can be managed with proper care and support. He advises Vishu to play along with Rinku's delusion and gradually introduce her to the reality of Sajid's absence. Vishu, with a heavy heart, agrees to this plan. He starts a fake communication with Sajid where he tells Rinku that Sajid is leaving her for good. This breaks Rinku's heart, but it also forces her to confront the reality of her situation. She slowly begins to accept that Sajid is not a part of her real life anymore. In the final act, Rinku, now seemingly cured, agrees to marry Vishu. On their wedding day, however, she realizes that she still loves Sajid. She starts a frantic search for him, leaving Vishu heartbroken. However, Vishu, who loves her unconditionally, decides to help her find Sajid. He takes her to a hospital where he reveals the truth about Sajid's non-existence. Rinku, now fully aware of her condition, has a complete breakdown. Vishu, with the help of Dr. Ramachandran, helps her come to terms with her reality. The film ends on a poignant note with Rinku and Vishu getting married and Rinku finding a way to live with her condition. She continues to have fleeting conversations with Sajid, but she is now aware that he is not a real person. The film beautifully portrays the idea that love is not just about a person but also about a feeling, and that some loves are so powerful that they transcend reality. The film, with its quirky characters, emotional depth and soulful music, is a unique take on a classic love story. It challenges the conventional notions of love and relationships and leaves the audience with a profound message about the power of unconditional love. Vishu, who is already engaged to his boss's daughter Mandakini, is initially shocked and confused by the turn of events. He and Rinku strike a deal: they will go their separate ways once they reach Vishu's home in Chennai. Rinku plans to reunite with Sajid and Vishu intends to get back to his fiancée. As they travel together, a genuine and endearing friendship blossoms between them. Rinku, with her eccentric and carefree nature, fascinates Vishu, who is more reserved and grounded. He finds himself drawn to her even as he tries to maintain his distance. Rinku, on the other hand, remains loyal to her love for Sajid. She constantly talks about him and their plans for the future. She describes him as a charming and adventurous man who performs magic tricks and travels the world. Vishu, out of a growing affection for Rinku, agrees to help her find Sajid. He helps her in her frantic search even though it puts his own engagement in jeopardy. However, the plot takes a completely unexpected turn when Vishu discovers that Sajid is not a real person but a figment of Rinku's imagination. The revelation is shocking and heartbreaking. It is revealed that Rinku suffers from a form of schizophrenia, a mental health condition that was triggered by the traumatic death of her parents. To cope with her trauma, she created a vivid and elaborate fantasy world with Sajid as the central figure. Vishu, who has now fallen deeply in love with Rinku, is faced with a difficult choice. He can either leave her and go back to his life with Mandakini, or he can stay and help Rinku navigate her mental health issues. Vishu chooses the latter. He decides to stand by Rinku and help her even if it means sacrificing his own happiness. He seeks the help of a psychiatrist, Dr. S.S. Ramachandran, who explains that Rinku's condition cannot be cured but can be managed with patience, love and support. Dr. Ramachandran advises Vishu to play along with Rinku's delusion and gradually introduce her to the reality of Sajid's absence. Vishu, with a heavy heart, agrees to this plan. He begins to create a fake narrative where Sajid is leaving Rinku, which causes Rinku immense pain but also forces her to confront the reality of her situation. She slowly starts to accept that Sajid is not a part of her life anymore and begins to move on. Ranjan is a young man from Banaras who is about to get married to the love of his life, Titli. The day before his wedding during the traditional haldi ceremony, Ranjan seems unusually emotional and keeps apologizing to everyone he knows, she's family, friends, and even his future in-laws for any hurt he may have caused. His friends are confused by his behavior and later reveal to him that he's apologizing because he is stuck in a time loop reliving the same day over and over again. The date for him never progresses to the 16th, which is his wedding day. He realizes this strange curse is a result of a good deed he made a pledge to do. He believes he is meant to save a life to break the loop. Desperate to find a solution, Ranjan confides in his father and friends, but no one believes his bizarre story. He tries to escape the repeating day by running away, but he ends up at the Ganges River. There he encounters a man named Hamid Ansari who is about to commit suicide by jumping into the river. Ranjan, seeing this as his destined good deed, saves Hamid. He learns that Hamid is heartbroken because he failed to get a government job in the irrigation department, a job he had promised his village he would get to solve their water shortage problem. Ranjan, feeling a deep connection to Hamid's plight, makes it his mission to get him the job. He takes Hamid to a middleman, an old acquaintance who had originally helped Ranjan secure the same government job through unofficial means. The middleman reveals to Ranjan that Hamid was the person whose name was originally on the list before Ranjan's name was swapped in. This realization explains Ranjan's time loop. He had taken a job that was rightfully Hamid's, and now fate is giving him a chance to correct this injustice. Ranjan, now fully committed to his good deed, decides to give up his job for Hamid. This decision throws his family into chaos. His fiancée Titli is furious, believing he's sacrificing their future for a stranger. She reminds him of all the sacrifices she made for him, including mortgaging her mother's necklace to help him get the job in the first place. Ranjan's father is also disappointed, feeling his son has disgraced the family's honor. Despite the pressure and emotional turmoil, Ranjan stands firm in his decision, driven by a newfound conviction that he must do what is right. On his wedding day, with the time loop still not broken, Ranjan's friends and family, including Titli, try to talk him out of his plan. They argue that one person can't fix all the world's problems and that he should prioritize his own happiness and future. They tell him that thousands of people get jobs through unfair means and hundreds of people die every day, so his one action won't change anything. However, the middleman, who has been a quiet observer, unexpectedly speaks up. He praises Ranjan's act of selflessness, stating that it's difficult to do what is right and that Ranjan has saved more than just one life. He has saved humanity from drowning in its own selfishness. He tells everyone that while they might find another spouse, an honest person is hard to find. Inspired by the middleman's words and Ranjan's unwavering integrity, Titli has a change of heart. She realizes that Ranjan's character is more valuable than the job and their own personal desires. She accepts his decision and their love for each other is renewed. The time loop finally breaks, the wedding proceeds, and Ranjan and Titli get married. The movie ends with the message that doing a good deed without expecting anything in return is the greatest reward of all. Ranjan's act of giving up his job for Hamid not only saved Hamid's life but also brought true happiness and meaning to his own. The film then shows a scene where the villagers in Hamid's hometown are celebrating as the water supply to their village has finally been restored. This is a direct result of Hamid getting the job and fulfilling his promise to his community. He is seen overseeing the project, a testament to Ranjan's sacrifice. The final sequence depicts Ranjan and Titli starting their new life together, having achieved a deeper, more meaningful connection forged through selflessness and honesty. The date finally progresses to the 16th and then the 17th, symbolizing the end of the time loop and the start of their life together. The film closes on a poignant note, reinforcing the idea that true happiness and a clear conscience are a far greater reward than any material possession or social status. Ranjan's journey from being caught in a selfish loop to finding his true purpose serves as a powerful moral lesson for the audience. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.